Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to remove the door panel on the inside of a Nissan Quest. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, a lot of times you're going to have to remove this in the event that you need to replace the automatic window motor. If you want to see a video I did in depth on how to do that, you can check it out via the link above. I'll also have it down in the description. But you would need to remove that if you wanted to replace that. If you needed to get to the regulator or anything dealing with the window assembly, you would need to remove this. Also, if you want to be upgrading or doing any work on your speakers, you would need to get that off as well. And there's also some electrical harnesses that connect to the fuel door, the up and down for your windows, things like that, door locks. All that is behind this panel. So if you're having problems with any of that, you're going to need to know how to remove this panel, and you don't want to break anything, so that's what we're going to get into. So let me show you now what you'll need in order to complete this. What's recommended is you have two Phillips screwdrivers right here. What I have here is a thicker one and then a regular. And the reason why you'll need the thicker one is one of the Phillips screws behind the actual door opening latch has a thicker kind of pattern to it, so you don't want to strip it with a small one. So what I'd recommend is a large size Phillips screwdriver and a medium, and then you will need a flathead screwdriver, and that's to pop a couple of the panels off. So let's go ahead and start taking it off. So if we come along here on the door, first of all, you're going to see there's a little plastic Phillips screw right here. See if I can get a close-up of it. Right there, you want to be careful with those. They can break easy, but that's your first one. Then if we come along here and we open this latch, you have this little panel right here. That panel pops off. There's a Phillips screw behind that. That's the one that requires the larger Phillips screwdriver. And then if we come along here, right down in here, this little panel is going to pop up, and then you have another screw under there. Now the rest of the door is just held on with clips, and once we get those screws off, I'll show you how we kind of pull that up off those clips, and then we can remove it. Gently remove this plastic clip. Pull that out. Okay. Next, we're going to pull this handle back to access that tab. Take your flathead screwdriver, slide it right in here, and gently just pull that out. You don't want it to break, so just pop it out like that. Take your other hand, get a hold of it. Pull that out. And inside here, I'm going to show you, is a Phillips screw. And as you can see, that takes the larger Phillips screwdriver because the pattern is wider. So let's get our larger Phillips screwdriver and we can remove that. Here it is. Put that in a safe spot. Next, we have to remove this little panel, so we'll take our flathead screwdriver again, slide it down in here. You have two little tabs. If you just lift it, pops that up, and there's one regular size Phillips screw in there that we'll remove. Now that's it for the screws. We removed the one in the handle, the one behind the latch, and then the little plastic kind of clip type screw. So that's all the screws that come off here. So now we're ready to raise this, and then once we do, I'll show you the harnesses because you don't want to put stress on it at that point. You still need to disconnect the harnesses before the panel itself comes off completely. Now that all of this is off, what we're going to do is just pull the door out to release the clips. So we'll just grab it along the edge here and pull it. You can hear that. Came off there. You should have another one here. There we go. You want to take your time because you don't want to break these clips. There's one up top here. Give it a nice pull. And then with this one, you want to pull and lift up. There we go. And now, our door panel is now off. But if we look down here, and I'll get a close-up, you'll see the harnesses that have to be disconnected next. So pulling the doorway, you can see we have these cables here. They go to the actual door latch. There's 4 Phillips screws in here that I'd recommend removing that. That makes it a lot easier. And then if we look further down, I'll show you the other harnesses for the window motor. And then you have your speaker, and then you have your little control panel here. Here's the harness for your window motor. If we come further here, I'll show you underneath. You can see these screws. You have one there, one up top right here. Then you have one there and one down here at the bottom. Those four hold the handle in place. Another thing you could do is you could remove the actual cables here from the latch, but that's tricky. I'd rather just undo the four screws and pop that out. Then you'll see there's another harness all the way down here. You can get underneath and disconnect them from the panel, but I'll show you right from the door panel itself on the outside. We can pop that off and get to them right there, which makes it a lot easier. And then coming along here, this is for your speaker. If you were to be, removing that, you can pop that off right here. And then you have down there, that goes to your fuel door access, which is here on the outside. So it's easier if you remove this panel here to get to all the harnesses behind these switches. So what I'll do is I'll just set the door up so we have a little stability, give a good pull on it. That pops up. That pops up. And here's all of your connections here on the back. So you can just pop them off here instead of trying to get them from inside the door. So to remove those, I'll get a close up. So on these clips, you have a little tab in here, which is kind of like any of these harnesses. If you push that in, give a pull, this should come right out. That's one. Same kind of clip on this end here. And I'll show you the little push button. It's this little tab right here, and you'll see if I can, if I push it, you'll see it move a little bit. So what you want to do is push it all the way in, and then while it's in, just pull this out. They can be in there pretty tight, so just be patient. And that's it. And now with these removed, we can take this control panel, put that off to the side, and now we can tuck these harnesses back in here, so that way now the door is not putting any stress on that. So let's just unscrew this handle piece, and then we should be able to get the rest of it. So coming here on the back, it's a little bit tight, but you can take your screwdriver in, like I have here, and undo these screws. I'm going to go ahead and remove the four screws here on the back, and then we'll be back to remove the handle. All four screws have been removed, so we can pop that through. And then now this door can come completely away. There's still actually one extra harness I forgot to mention. There's a light down at the bottom of the door. I'll get a close-up. We need to disconnect that, and then we need to just disconnect this one going to the fuel door, and then this panel's off. All right, so this is the fuel door connection here. And let's see if I can get a shot of it here. Just like the other harnesses, it's got a little tab on the bottom that you push up. This one can be in a little bit tight. There we go. Let's head down and I'll show you if we can see it from here. See that wire all the way down there? That goes down to that bottom light on the door. And here it is right here. Here on the very bottom of the door, you have this light, and that harness connects to that. So let's head around the back so we can disconnect it. And we can see it right here. That one can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes you can just take the bulb itself, I'm sorry, not the bulb, but the light itself, and just pop out that assembly. That can be easier. But I'm going to see if we can pull that out. Same kind of tab as we've been dealing with already. It has a little button, and then we pull it out. So let's see what we can do. Having a hard time getting it, so what I'm going to do, there's a couple clips. Push here on the inside, and we'll see. This pops forward. We can pull it out and then just slide it back in. All right. And now the door panel comes off. Okay. Now with that off, you have access to everything here. If you need to do work on the speaker, you would just disconnect that. Here's your harness for your window motor. If you need to get to your regulator, whatever you're trying to do work on, this gives you all your access here. This can actually be popped out of the way if you need to get further back in there. But when it's time to put it back, you just follow the same process we did. Go ahead and put it in place, connect your harnesses. That way you have the access. Go ahead and put all the screws back in and then clip it all in place, and you're good to go. So that wraps up this video. I hope that it helped you out with any projects you're working on with your Nissan Quest. Please check out the links down in the description. I have other videos that I've done on this vehicle, different things that might be of interest to you and might help you out. If you have questions or comments, please send them in. I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate all the support. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel as I'm constantly posting new content. I'll see you next time.